Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of APAC Dialogue. Today, we have with us Mr. Chaitanya Chokkareddy. He is the Chief Product Officer with Ozonetel. Ozonetel is a cloud telephony service provider, and he will be talking to us about the company as well as brief on the cloud telephony market in India. So before we start, very brief about APAC News Network. We are a media organization headquartered out of Noida with a pan-India presence and presence across Southeast Asia and Singapore and in Middle East in Dubai. So primarily we focus on technology deployment across government, education, healthcare, BFSI, enterprise, as well as startups. And we have a 360-degree outreach approach via our portal. We are launching a print also, and through our different events, the business communication events, as well as the digital media. Chaitanya, the best way to start would be one, if you can give us a brief genesis of Ozonetel, then a brief introduction about yourself, and also update us on the portfolio of solutions and services uh, from Ozonetel.
Yeah, sure. Hey, thanks for having me on the show. As you explained, we are Ozonetel Communications, and I am Chaitanya. I am the co-founder and chief product officer of Ozonetel Communications. We at Ozonetel Communications, we started in 2007, and we've been in the communication space for the past 15 years now. We launched our first product, which was a cloud telephony API, Cuckoo. This was back in 2009. And then in 2010, 2011, we launched the world's first CCaaS platform, Cloud Communication as a Service platform, which was a cloud call center. We called that as Cloud Agent. And this was the first cloud call center in the whole world. And even in the US, it was not available. And we were the first ones to launch it. And then for the past 10 years now, we have been focusing our efforts on building up this CCaaS layer, and we have had a lot of customers building on top of us, and we support a lot of call centers running on top of us. And then in 2017 2018, we started to include voice bots and other bot technology, and also speech recognition. So speech analytics also we started introducing. And then a couple of years back, just before the pandemic started, we launched our service in the US for the first time. So for the first 10 years, we were concentrating fully only on the India market. But now we have entered the US market also. And last year, we raised our first fund round. We have been bootstrapped for the past 10, 12 years. And finally, in the last year, to attack the US market, we raised our funding round. So to put it in a nutshell, we provide anything related to the communication space across the stack. We are a full stack solution. If you want just APIs, we have a CPaaS platform. If you want a product, a cloud call center product, we have a CCaaS platform, Cloud Agent. If you want only bots, chat bots, so we have our own CCaaS layer in that too, where we allow bots connected to agents. And if you want only AI-based speech analytics at the topmost layer, we provide that too, which you can integrate with any contact center. So that's in a nutshell all our products that we provide and sort of our genesis.
Thanks. So my question is, if we look at it, first the cloud telephony, if you look at it, it's quite a cluttered market. Uh, Even in the Indian scenario, there are quite a few players, and even for CCAS, even that concept, there are quite a few players. So, in that scenario, what would you claim to be Ozonetel's unique differentiators, which I may say USPs, which will differentiate you from your competitors.
So first thing is, it's cluttered, true for sure, but now it's cluttered now. I mean, when we started, we were the only guys available out there. But it's good that the market has picked up. That shows that our investment into building the product in the initial stages, when nothing was available, has proven that the market will adapt. Coming to our USP, I would say we are pretty much the only player in town who owns the full stack. In fact, if you remember, if you know that in India, still PSTN lines are used, VoIP is still not legal. So in some cases, we have to install directly interface with the hardware. So in fact, even the hardware PRI cards we manufacture ourselves. Second thing is we have set up data centers across India. More than we have set up in more than 16 circles all across India. We have our local data centers to provide the local telephony numbers. So we are one of the only players who provide such a widespread. And added to that, we own the whole stack, including the hardware, the CPaaS layer, the CCaaS layer, and even the AI. We don't depend on the Google's and the Amazon AI. We have our own AI engine. So that would be our USP.
Okay, so since this one is this 16 the local data centers that you mentioned, all the circles that so will that help? See now, the customers, enterprise customers who are using cloud telephony or your services overall, they will have multiple applications. A lot of applications might be on the edge. Some of their applications might be on private cloud. Some of their applications will be on public cloud, and some might be on the edge. So, do does your approach this having these local data centers and addressing all local customers across all regions, does that help reaching out to these enterprise customers?
Oh, for sure, sure. See, when I talk about the 16 data centers, the 16 data centers are for the local endpoints to provide local telephones. Our actual application, the CCaaS application, is a centralized application. So only the calls are routed in the local data centers. The rest of it is like a regular cloud SaaS application. So there is no problem with that. We also provide hybrid approaches for on-premise solutions where we take our box and put it up in the enterprise, and we connect to them within their private cloud. So we have those options also. So that's something we have taken care of. So especially the pandemic, right? Before the pandemic, explaining the advantages of the cloud to the users was a little bit hard. But now the pandemic has opened up all doors. I mean, now banks, finance institutions, healthcare institutions, everybody wants to move their communication to the cloud, and even regulations have opened up a little bit, and we hope it opens up a little bit more to make it easier for businesses to come on the cloud in the communication space.
Thanks. Would like to elaborate on this part on that all the sectors are moving their communication to the cloud, especially after the pandemic. But before that, another trend is now, if you look at again across all sectors, everyone their customer interface communication is a more an omni-channel thing. So you mentioned in 2017 after you started bots also. So there will be a communication channel, voice-based communication channel, bot-based, email, and chat-based, and a lot of the ones. So what role does Ozonetel play in that omni-channel scenario, and what are the trends that you are witnessing here?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. I mean, when we started 2009, 2010, the CCAS platform, it was purely a voice platform. I mean, people didn't even ask us for any other channels. But you're absolutely right. Now the trend is omni-channel, and the advantage is that our application has scaled automatically to support all the channels. So the same application that my customers are using right now can also be used in addition to receiving calls. They can also receive emails, chat, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook. In fact, now just the last month, we signed up with WhatsApp as a partner. So we have been providing WhatsApp as a channel for communication pieces. We also allow in-app chat. So multiple things. Customers want to be able to reach to customers from any point in time. I mean, they should be able to reach the customer from their desktop, from their mobile, from an app, from a call, from social media, and we allow all that. And we have an omni-channel toolbar for an agent. So when an agent, call center agent, logs into the system, he or she can receive calls or chats or social media messages. So it doesn't matter. So we are omni-channel ready for that, and I think the future is going to be that. Voice is just another channel.
So how effectively you mentioned are you leveraging AI basically to sort of, I would say, enhance the productivity of the communication? Because that would be the first thing, and maybe second would be to gain some meaningful insights
Yeah,
of the. So
absolutely.
how are you leveraging?
Absolutely. So I think AI has kicked off big time. I mean, especially after, I would say 2018, when the large language models came into the picture. Companies like OpenAI started opening up their APIs to use these huge language models. So what we do is, because communication is all about data, whether it is voice or whether it is text, even voice, you can use speech to text and convert it back to text. So ultimately, you have this whole amount of data about conversations. So these conversations, from these conversations, what we do is we glean a lot of insights, like you mentioned. The first thing that we do is intent analysis. So what are the people talking about? What are customers talking about? And based on the intent analysis, we have routing. So, for example, if a particular person is talking about dining, then you can route to the right agents who can give the right experience to the user. In fact, the other thing we do is sentiment analysis. Like if a particular customer is sad or happy, based on that, we can route the call to the right agent and make sure that the customer is happy. So multiple things like this. Not only on the customer side, when we talk about the other big use case is obviously the bots, which can yeah, we use building AI, where customers can directly talk to a system without even talking to an agent and get their queries resolved. So that's one big use case that's picking up a lot. The other big thing that we do is in AI, we do the AI on the agent side also, not just on the customer side. So we do a lot of analytics on how the agents are performing. Like, are they following the script or not? Can I help the agent with knowledge from my system? When a customer asks a query, automatically my system shows up the right information to the agent, rather than the agent going and searching in some knowledge base and getting the information. So a lot of small things like this that we added in our system, and that helps the agent also. So AI is both ways, one helping the customers, the other helping the agents. So these are the things we are using.
Mm. Okay, so my next question is vertical wise. You mentioned, especially after pandemic, between banks, healthcare, and so vertical wise, which are the sectors where you witness maximum traction, and how are things changing after the pandemic?
So, I mean, during the pandemic, the main focus was on work from home mainly. That's what picked up a lot. And that's why cloud took off, because with the cloud, you don't need your agents in a single place. The biggest advantage is, even after the pandemic, people have found out the advantages of working from home, especially for call centers. So, not a lot of companies have actually come back to office, though the pandemic is not there and the rules are not there and the lockdowns are not there. Still, a lot of our customers are working from home. So I think this is going to stay, and the cloud is going to stay. From vertical perspective, every vertical had this advantage. There's no doubt about one vertical or the other. But specifically, I would say that the banks have opened up. Earlier, they were not. They always said that keep it on premise or something like that. EdTech has picked up because their own vertical took off, and they needed to serve a lot more customers. So EdTech industries have improved a lot. And the other big industry which has improved is the delivery industry, because obviously once the pandemic hit, again a lot of deliveries and stuff like that happened. And I think these three verticals are mainly the focus, but I would say every vertical has improved.
And what sort of the go-to-market strategy that you follow to reach out and bring customers onto your phone?
So our, especially in India, our go-to-market strategy has mostly been inbound and word of mouth. So we have built up a slow base over a complete big base over the last 5-10 years now, and that itself feeds a lot of data to us. And we are well known in the market right now by being in the space and providing innovative solutions. So when people Google for contact centers or something like that, we come up in the top. So SEO, SEM is our main go-to-market strategy. And obviously we do have a direct sales team. For enterprise customers, our go to market strategy is through our sales itself, our feet on street.
Okay, so basically, what will be the total number of, if we look at the Indian market now, we'll talk about the US expansion later. The Indian market specifically, how many customers you will have, and what sort of, who are the marquee customers, if I may ask, out of these, and what's the total number of customers, and briefly, for some of the marquee customers, if you can mention the use cases typically.
So pretty much, I mean, we are, as I said, we have more than 1,500 customers, and pretty, I mean, anybody who is anybody in the startup space is our customer. All market names, I mean, Big Basket, Zomato, everybody uses our service. Blinkit use service, and multiple use cases. Some of them use the CCAS, many of them use the CCAS, which is a contact center. So in fact, any of the contact centers that you might have spoken or called in the previous year or something, most probably it would have come through our system. And we also have banks, a lot of banks that are available. Anything in the edtech space also. Delivery is our customer. Multiple, I mean, like this. We also have CPaaS customers. For example, Zomato uses our service to do the virtual numbers also. Like when delivery boys call you over to find out the location and stuff, they provide a virtual number service. So they have built that own app themselves using our APIs. So that's another use case up. And the other use cases are like what's L&T Realty, Purvankara, multiple sorry, real estate players. They used us. Even they even use WhatsApp messages. So multiple customers use multiple products. Ultimately, anything related to conversation space.
And what about, say, somebody may be using the CCAS from your side, and there might be certain other applications he might be using from some other ISV. So, how is the integration? How smooth is the integration? Since it's API based, obviously you can plug it in, but how smooth is the integration from an enterprise customer perspective?
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. I think not a lot of people think about it, but I forgot to mention at the first, one of our biggest USPs is the integration. Because of the cleanliness of the design that we have, it's actually very easy for us to integrate. Added to the fact that because we have been in this space for so long, we've already integrated with almost every CRM out there, for example, and every support desk system out there. We have integrations with more than 40 systems right now live. And so it's just sort of for these 40 systems, it's plug and play. But let's say if a new system comes up, then also it's pretty easy as long as the other system is also web based. So any web based system we can easily integrate, and that's one of our USP.
Okay, okay. And will you tell us a little more detail about the US? What are the solutions you are going to US with, and how do you plan to tap that American market?
Yeah, so US was a very interesting decision for us. I mean, for 10 years we didn't go into the US, assuming that the US as a market was saturated for contact centers. But I think in 2017 or 2018, me and Murthy, our CEO, we went to the US and we sort of different people there, and we were surprised to find that in the contact center space, the US market is actually lagging behind the Indian market, especially in the cloud contact center space. There still a lot of contact centers are on premise. And then that was the time we realized, hey, we are missing out. There's a huge market here. The names are big, like an Avaya or a Genesis or a Five9 or InContact, but they're all on premise. They've not yet moved to the cloud. They use the terms cloud, but it's mostly hybrid and try to do patchwork and all that because their core system is still on premise. So we said, hey, there's a big market. Let's attack this. And that's the reason we Series A. We raised a $5 million fund and we said that we'll go to that market. And we have had pretty good success there. We crossed the $2 million ARR in the US market this year. And we hope to cross by the end of this year. So we've had very good customers there, a lot of pizza delivery people, automobile industry, education industry, even city councils have been using us. So a lot of these businesses to the cloud, and we have been able to make inroads. We have taken an approach of direct sales as well as a partner approach. We partner with good channel partners there who take us to their end customers, and we have been serving those customers.
Okay. Another thing I would this will be true for the Indian market and definitely for the American market also. When you're talking about cloud contact center and some of the sectors that you are talking about, banking or healthcare, these are highly regulated sectors. So these compliances, and there are different compliances. So how do you ensure conformance with these compliances, especially when you are talking about cloud contact centers?
Oh, that's a big problem. I mean, the problem in the sense that you have to spend money and do that compliance. There's no other way. We have done all that because we have been in this space for long enough. We've gone through the painful process of and we have taken all the compliances that are necessary, and we have put those things in place. But once the advantage is once you do it, the next things are easy. So we have already done that process. We have taken care of all the compliances that are necessary for banks and insurance segment.
Okay. And in the Indian scenario, like you mentioned in US, it's still primarily most of the contact centers are still on premise. Now we know traditionally, even India at one point, we had all the large contact centers, they were primarily on premise. So overall, has the shift to cloud contact center for the majority happened in India? And what are the key trends going forward?
No, it's not. The good thing for us is that the majority has not shifted. There's still a big market out there that we have to tap into, and that's where our optimism comes from. Because we know that all that market is ready for the taking. What we have cracked into is actually to start off the new age companies, startups, because they are the ones who first adapt any new technology. And now, because of the pandemic, the new old age technologies are also coming on board. But still, a huge potential is there. I mean, none of the brick and mortar companies have come on board yet. A lot of other BPOs have not yet moved to the cloud contact center. Though some of the better BPOs have moved, I would say 80% of the BPO market is still in the on-premise model. See that what that happens is because they've already paid for the on-premise solution hardware, and when that end of cycle comes, that's the time they'll move. So we just need to wait it out and talk to these people and keep them on board so that when the time is right, they'll make that change. From a trend perspective, there is no doubt. I mean, it doesn't make any sense now for a non-premise solution. If you've already paid for it, then you might as well use it. But if you're going for something new, then it doesn't make any sense for you to put any box in your system because there is no point. I mean, especially even with employees working from home nowadays, it doesn't make any sense that you should have a box at an office. So I think the future is going to be cloud.
So apart from this, obviously the hardware cost challenge, and they are, as you mentioned, they are waiting for the technology obsolescence, and then they will shift. Other than that, any other, if I may use the word bottleneck of things, which is preventing the shift from on-premise to cloud contact centers? Anything else that is preventing?
No, actually, in my mind, nothing, because the technology is ready, the market is ready. It's just the people's mindset and the business's mindset, whether they want to adapt the cloud. Other than that, there's nothing, because the technology has improved a lot. I'm talking about 10 years back, we started. At that time, it was almost ready. But 10 years down the line, a lot of protocols have improved. WebRTC is mainstream. We are talking in this meeting also, most probably over WebRTC. Look at how easy it is. Just, I mean, in the earlier days, talking about video conferencing, what it used to take. I used to have a phone, camera, whole setup, Polycom had to be set up. But now today, you just send me a link and I just clicked on the link and I'm online and we are talking and it's being recorded. All features. That's the magic. I mean, I don't think anything is stopping. It's just the mindset of the businesses. Once they are ready to move to the cloud, technology is ready, the market is ready.
What about the security aspect? Because since a lot of the sensitive sectors, banking, healthcare, uh, even those consumer retail, when customers are contacting them, a lot of what I may say, the customer information, sensitive customer information is coming. So the security and the privacy aspect, how do you take care of that?
So we are very clear about that, right? I mean, from a context and the way we have designed the system is that I am as less invasive as possible. I don't store any customer data except the call detail records, who called whom. And even that data is stored on the customer databases, on their customer buckets. So I don't store anything at all because I don't want that information on my side. I am not doing any analysis or on top of customer data or anything like that. For me, I just want to enable communication and get out of the way. All the customer data is stored actually in the CRMs. So the CRMs are the ones which are have to be privacy oriented and which have to be secure, and which they are. They have been around for 20 years now, and all the technologies exist to make the CRMs private and secure enough. And at the same time, even my small things, which are like the call details, those also have to go through an audit process to make sure that they are secure enough. We encrypt all that data. Not a single data is unencrypted. So all of this is encrypted and stored in our databases. None of my team has any access to any of this data, and the customers use their data by themselves. So that's the way we approach security.
Okay. Um, what are the overall, if we look at the cloud telephony and cloud contact center as a concept and as a feasible, as you say, gradually replacing all the on-premise. So both from a technology perspective as well as from a business perspective, what do you expect the major trends we can look forward maybe in the next couple of years?
I think we actually covered both of those, which is the two main trends which are going to dominate are going to be omni-channel and AI. Every contact center has to be omni-channel. It cannot be just voice anymore because people are reaching out in all channels. And second thing is AI. No agent is going to work alone now, because agents are going to say that to make my work easier, deploy AI. Let the AI handle the repetitive tasks, and I'll handle the most important tasks. So that's going to pick up a lot. I think by the next, we are already seeing it. A lot of customers are already using, have deployed solutions. But I think by next year, this will all be mainstream. It will be omni-channel, WhatsApp, maybe some new social media also will come. We never know. For all we know, a new channel may end up coming. But contact centers have to be ready to handle that. And AI, these two will be the trends of the future.
Some of these organizations, especially in banking, they have developed their own omnichannel customer-facing interface. If you mention their omnichannel, at least the major banks. So, And on the other hand, those are large brick and mortar companies also. They will have an on-premise contact center also. So how do you see the progress there, and what role can Ozonetel play?
So you see, all of these people who have deployed their customer-facing bots, if you want to talk about it and all that, what they have realized, if you remember, I think 2016, 2017 was a time when there was a bot boom. Everybody was talking about voice bots and chat bots. But you go to any bot now, almost all websites, the bots are just form collection bots. There's actually not a bot where you can interact with. It's only click, 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 and you're done, kind of a thing. So all of those have to be backed up by human agents. And that's where Ozonetel comes in. We provide a service where if the bot is not able to handle the service, we do provide the bots also. Where whatever click and bot, that kind of a bot you want, we can enable that. But if a bot doesn't handle a particular service, then you can transfer the conversation to an agent, and we enable that. So I think that we are going to see these hybrid approaches a lot more. And because the good thing is all of these big banks as well as the brick and mortar companies are now exposed to the concept of a bot and agent. And I think that's going to pick up a lot more in the next couple of years.
And my last question is now purely from an Ozonetel perspective. If I may ask, for the next 4 to 5 quarters, what are going to be your key focus areas?
Yeah, for us, mainly we are launching a couple of products. One is the speech analytics dashboard that we want to enable using our inbuilt AI stuff. And then we are going to launch a very innovative WhatsApp product. That's sort of still in the stealth mode, but we will be launching it in the next couple of weeks itself. Since we are partnered directly with WhatsApp, we're going to allow businesses communicating on WhatsApp through our service. These are the two main focuses from a product side. From a business side, we want in India, we want to mainly target enterprises. We want to target after the $1 million deals now. That's our goal now. We already have 3 to 4 businesses which are almost at $1 million deals for us. We want to bring it up to 10 at least in the next 4 to 5 quarters. The other big focus area for us from a business side is obviously the US. We have hired our first US sales team there. We are around 4 people team there in the US right now. We want to bring it up to 10 people team at least, and start selling in the US directly.
So even these $3 to $4 million deals you say, these are also from new age companies only.
No, there are a couple from new age and couple from bank and insurance sector.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Can I, if you're on the right side, you can write your email ID and mobile number on
Okay,
this
the chat
right side,
in
on
the
the
chat.
chat.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a chat.
or I'll just do that.
Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Thanks for it.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye
Have a
bye.
great day. Bye.